I'm talking three black SUVs roaring down a gravel driveway in the middle of nowhere fake. HOA enforcement stickers slapped on the door's headlights, slicing through the dark like it was an ambush. That's how it started for us. Grandpa Frank's voice cracked when he saw those lights. He'd built this ranch fence himself 50 years ago, and now these hired thugs, yeah, they weren't even real cops, were lining up to smash it to splinters for the 15th night in a row. You think you're ready, but you're never really ready. Not when the storm comes straight for your front porch. I grabbed my phone, hands shaking, caught between fear and fury. Grandpa's face, man, I'd never seen that look before. Tired, yeah, but tonight there was something hard in his eyes. Like he'd finally had enough of running scared. And if you're wondering where I'm telling this story from, drop your own location, because what happened next, I swear it'll make you think twice about what you'd do in our boots. 15 days ago, my world just flipped. Day 1, 6 a.m., car horns blaring like we were under attack. I peeked out my window, saw a black SUV with that ridiculous HOA decal. The guy who got out looked like he'd rented a Navy uniform from some costume shop, plastic badge crooked and catching the morning sun all wrong. Property inspection for HOA violations, he barked like he was on a TV show. Grandpa comes out, coffee steaming in his hand, broad-shouldered, even at 72, a life of engineering still showing in the way he stood tall. You could see it in his face, he was confused. "Son, we don't have an HOA out here," Grandpa said, waving at the open range, the wind in the grass, the only thing between us and the horizon. "This is unincorporated land. Always has been." But they kept coming. Same act, same threats, just different flavors of intimidation. By day 3, we had a citation for tall grass. By day 7, it was midnight pounding for a fence inspection. By day 10, they started flinging invoices, $1,500 a pop, for made-up violations. I started recording every single incident, creating this folder on my phone called evidence. It got heavier every day. 15 videos of harassment in 2 weeks, each one scarier than the last. They were testing us, seeing if we'd snap, seeing if fear would make us cave. Day 14, we got a final warning, official-looking letterhead threats of severe consequences. It felt real in my hand, even though I spotted grammar mistakes all over it. I still got that little spike of anxiety, like maybe this time it would go too far. Then came day 15, 8 p.m. family dinner. We were laughing about my science fair project on Newton's laws. Just for a second, everything felt normal. The kind of normal you only realize is precious when someone's trying to steal it away. Outside wind shook the oak trees, their branches scraping against the old glass. Then the engine started up. You ever hear a diesel engine at night when you're waiting for bad news? It's like thunder, only meaner. Duke, our golden retriever, started barking a bark that came from deep in his chest. I ran to the window, saw the SUVs backing up. "Grandpa, they're coming," I shouted. He was already up, but physics ironically beat him to it. First SUV lights blazing red backed up with scary precision. They'd done this before, knew the exact angle, the perfect timing. When it hit, our fence exploded. 50 years of sweat and memories blasted into the air, chunks of wood flying like shrapnel. Grandpa yanked me back just as a slab of timber came crashing through the window. It hit his shoulder hard. I saw blood spreading across his shirt. He grunted, but the noise was drowned out by engines and the sound of our family's history being destroyed. Then 6 of them got out, matching HOA uniforms, fake badges shining. The leader, hiding behind dark designer sunglasses, flashed a grin I still see in my nightmares. "Next time, pay your fees on schedule," he called. There was something almost gleeful in the way he said it. Out of the third SUV came this woman, blonde hair helmeted into place, pink business suit, Louis Vuitton clutch that didn't quite look right under the streetlights. "I am Karen Hayes, president of the Meadowbrook HOA," she declared like she was introducing herself at a parade. "This area now falls under my jurisdiction." Grandpa, even with his shirt blooming red, just stared at her. "Meadowbrook is 10 miles from here, ma'am. You've got no authority here." She tossed an invoice at his feet, $2,000 for non-compliance. The paper landed in a puddle of his blood. You ever see something so wrong it makes your stomach turn? Grandpa, bleeding and furious, dialed 911. The dispatcher, after asking if he was dying, told him property damage would have to wait for a civil report in the morning. That's it. That's how seriously they took it. Karen just laughed loud, cruel, snapping photos for her records. Our neighbor Bill Thompson came running, work boots crunching in the debris. "This impact's like demolition work," he said. HOA. This is fraud. We all saw it. But what were we supposed to do? I hugged Duke, who was still shaking. Why won't the police help us, Grandpa? I whispered. He just shook his head. Sometimes, kiddo, we have to protect ourselves legally. His eyes were tired but determined. That night I couldn't sleep. What was Karen really running here, and how far would Grandpa go to stop her? Next morning, Grandpa and Bill drove to the county records office, Grandpa's arm bandaged tight. What they found there chilled me. Karen Hayes was the actual HOA president, but only for Meadowbrook Estates, a luxury development 10 miles away. No expansion paperwork, no county approval, no board votes. She was making it all up. Online, Grandpa and Bill started connecting the dots. This wasn't some random nutcase. Karen was running an organized extortion racket, 3 fake enforcement teams, uniforms, bought online authority conjured from nothing but her own sense of power. But the victims, all real, all heartbreakingly vulnerable. Elderly folks, widows and widowers, targeted and terrorized in 15-day cycles, fake fines, fence, smashing threats. Most paid out of fear. Some sold their homes for pennies on the dollar just to make it stop. Guess who swooped in to buy those homes? Hayes Property, LLC, Karen's own company. Bought low, sold high, pure profit off people's pain. I spent nights building spreadsheets tracing victims. 12 properties. Every single owner between 68 and 84. Grandpa ran the numbers: $500,000 stolen in forced sales, another $180,000 a year in fake fees. $1 million empire built on fear and physics. But why didn't the police stop her? Bill explained it. Every incident was written up as a civil dispute. Paperwork looked real enough. Victims were too scared, too isolated to fight. She's smart, Emma. Smart and cruel. Grandpa watched my harassment videos, memorizing every license plate, every script. They'll be back, he said. And next time it'll be worse. Here's where the story takes its turn, because Grandpa wasn't just a rancher. 35 years designing highways, anti-ram barriers, and security fencing for the Department of Transportation meant he understood how to fight force with force. If the law won't protect us, physics will, he said. He dusted off his old laptop, booted up AutoCAD. This fence will teach them about Newton's third law, he told me. Railroad rails for backbone angled 15 degrees out, springs to absorb and redirect the energy. Warning signs everywhere, clear as day. We're not attacking Emma. We're just letting nature run its course. Frank's blueprint would have looked at home protecting a government building, not a dusty old ranch. We needed materials. Contractors donated steel and concrete. Neighbors, many of them also victims, volunteered to help build. Grandpa turned his pain into focus. For the first time in weeks, he looked almost happy. When they come back, they'll learn that boundaries, real boundaries, can't just be pushed over. I compiled the videos, made our story public. Fake HOA scam, terrorizing elderly, please share, 15,000 views overnight. Suddenly people weren't just watching, they were sharing their own stories. They did the same to my mother. I paid these scammers for a year. My grandma lost her home. I started a private group, and in 3 days, 147 people joined, all with the same scars. Then came the comment that flipped everything. My sister is County Commissioner Helen Wilson. I'm sending her this. Helen called Grandpa the next morning. Her mother had been a victim too. I'm launching an investigation, she promised. Meanwhile, Karen doubled down. All caps posts on the HOA page, threats, bluster, desperation. Contractors offered us everything. Steel beams, concrete labor. Bill took over coordination. Helen's legal team made sure every step was by the book. If they ram this fence again, it's not civil, it's criminal. Karen's spies watched us build. She posted threats, phase 2 coming. My authority must be respected. But our community wasn't scared anymore. We were angry. Frank, despite his injury, led from a wheelchair. His blueprints became real steel rails, springs, deep footings, cameras, motion lights. We finished in 4 days. Volunteers tested it. An old truck bounced right off the fence, barely moved. Physics, baby. It doesn't negotiate. D.A. Rebecca Clark. Detective Smith, they turned our house into HQ for the investigation. Undercover cops and Karen's crew recorded everything. 10 cars isn't enough, Karen barked. Hire 15. This is war. Evidence piled up, racketeering, fraud, conspiracy. This wasn't just about us anymore. The night before the showdown, Frank addressed everyone. You didn't just build a fence, you built hope. Tomorrow Karen will try. Physics will answer. News crews arrived. Sheriff units waited out of sight. All we could do was hope Newton's law would hold. Next morning, the whole neighborhood showed up. 3 SUVs rolled in bigger and bolder than ever. Karen stepped out, pink suit, tiara, presidential sash, golden clipboard like some deranged parade queen. "Remove the illegal fortification," she yelled. The crowd booed. Karen snapped at her drivers. "Positions. Prepare to ram." The drivers hesitated. "Those are railroad tracks, lady." "You want the money or not?" Karen shrieked. Finally, greed or fear won out. 3 engines revved. Engines. First SUV, north corner. Driver thought he'd found a weak spot. Hit at 35 mph. Metal screamed. Car bounced back like a toy hood, folded up, airbags exploded. Driver stumbled out, badge flying, yelling she said it was wood. Second SUV, dead center. Karen's own ride. She screamed. Faster, they hit at 40. Springs compressed. Physics did its thing. The SUV launched backward 30 feet, spinning Karen's tiara and wig flying in opposite directions. The sash ripped clean off. "No, this can't be happening," she whispered, dazed. Third SUV driver tried to stop. Karen barked in his ear. He hit anyway. Front end gone, radiator hissing, bumper skating across the grass. Both men bailed out. "We'll testify," she lied. The fence, not a scratch, not a dent. 3 SUVs wrecked 6 fake cops limping away, tossing badges like frisbees. Karen mascara streaked, staggered up screaming about federal marshals and the National Guard. Then came the real sirens, sheriff's units, DA handcuffs. "Karen Hayes, you're under arrest. Assault with a deadly weapon, fraud, racketeering, conspiracy." The list went on. She wailed about her authority all the way into the squad car. My live stream hit 300,000 viewers. Comments poured in: justice, karma, physics, jokes, and more. Grandpa in his wheelchair just smiled. Class dismissed. Our story went viral, 5 million views in a day. News headlines: Newton's Law 1, Karen 0. Federal investigators shut down Karen's network in 12 states. The Meadowbrook HOA disavowed her. Victims everywhere got justice. 3 months later, Karen represented herself in court, ranted about presidential authority, until the judge added contempt charges. Guilty on all counts. 12 years in prison. Lifetime ban from HOAs. Over $1 million in restitution for the victims. The county even passed new laws, triple penalties for fake HOAs, free legal help for seniors. Frank used his share to build a free legal clinic, fund engineering scholarships, and keep the fence a symbol now standing strong. The county put up a marker, Reynolds Fence 2024, where community and physics defeated fraud. 5 years later, I stood in front of a science fair project titled Defensive Physics and Community Protection Scholarship in hand. Grandpa still teaches part-time, starting every class with our viral video. That fence draws crowds, teachers, engineers, kids learning what happens when communities refuse to be bullied. Karen's still in federal prison, still calling herself President Hayes, teaching business ethics behind bars. But the world knows better. Standing at Sunset Duke at my side, Grandpa just smiles. Physics taught its lesson, Emma. The rest is up to her. And me, I learned the most important law of all: equal and opposite reaction always. Now let me ask you, when the law lets you down, do you trust your neighbors enough to stand up together? Or would you run? Drop your thoughts. Tell me your own story. Because out here, sometimes physics is the only justice you get.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.